Salut! In this other lesson on le présent, we will be finding out about les verbes modaux, the modal verbs, that we use to express necessity, needs, or obligation. In French, we have three modal verbs. Devoir, which is to have to or to must, not to confuse with to have, which is avoir, so devoir is to have to. The second one being vouloir, or to want to, and the third one, pouvoir, or to be able to or to can. I have to admit they are all irregular, but they are also very similar and they follow the regular root pattern, which we have seen previously in the other irregular verbs. Let's have a look at your document to understand better. Vouloir and pouvoir will work really similarly. Their forms for je, tu, il, elle ou on, and for il with an S and elle with an S will do e, eu, like peut, P-E-U, or veut, V-E-U, which is, you notice, different than the pou, P-O-U, of the infinitive pouvoir, or the vous, V-O-U, for vouloir. So we are following the pattern where nous and vous will look like the infinitive, keeping the ou sound, OU, for pouvons et pouvez, for the infinitive pouvoir, and again, voulons et voulez for the infinitive vouloir. As we said, il and elle with an S will do the E sound, EU, but they will also keep the V of the infinitive for pouvoir and the L of the infinitive for vouloir, doing ils peuvent, they can, P-E-U-V-E-N-T, and ils veulent, they want, V-E-U-L-E-N-T. So we have the mix of both patterns. Notice that je and tu will have the same form, ending with an X and not an S this time. Usually, when we have a U, we will prefer to put an X after more than an S. So we will have je peux et tu peux, P-E-U-X, for I can and you can. We will also have je veux et tu veux, V-E-U-X, for I want and you want. The form for il, we will then swap the X for the T, as we never have an X for il, elle et on. So that will be il peut, P-E-U-T, for he can, et il veut, V-E-U-T, for he wants. Again, just as I was mentioning in the previous lesson, don't hesitate to highlight the pattern to help you visualize them. Highlighting the EU, E, for je, tu, il, and for il with an S in one color, and then the OU, ou, of nous and vous in a second color. You will also highlight the V or the L of the three last forms for nous, vous, and il with an S in the second color so you can see the mix of pattern. Take some time to do this for all three verbs and pause the video if needed. This will help you to see the pattern for third verb, devoir, that we will see in a minute. Devoir will follow the same logic, or pattern, but instead of doing E, EU, it will do moi, OI, for je, tu, il, elle, on, and also for il with an S and elle with an S. When for nous and for vous, we will follow the infinitive, again, doing dev of devoir, D-E-V. Here, as our je and tu form are doing wa and not ending in u, we will keep the S of our endings, making it je dois and tu dois, D-O-I-S. For il, we will swap that S into a T, making it il doit, D-O-I-T. Et voilà! You know how to conjugate these modal verbs pouvoir, vouloir, et devoir at present. Bravo! Now, with regard to their structure, the modal verbs are different as they are used with the infinitive, which is one more reason why it is very important to know what an infinitive is. Whatever the tense or the subject of your verb is, the modal verb will always be followed by an infinitive. For example, with the verb réussir, which is to succeed or to pass, if I wanted to say, I want to pass my exam. I want is je veux. To pass, your infinitive is réussir, my exam, mes examens. So I want to pass my exam will become je veux réussir mes examens. In the same way, I can or I am able to pass my exam will become je peux réussir mes examens. And finally, I have to pass my exam will be je dois réussir mes examens. If you want to use a negation in these two verb structures, remember to sandwich the first verb. Je ne veux pas jouer au foot. I don't want to play football. So you sandwich want, which is veut. Je ne veux pas jouer au foot. These verbs are really important to express obligation, likelihood, ability, or permission. There isn't anything difficult about them once you know how to conjugate them. Just remember which one is which one and how to use them. Just a little tip here to remember. Devoir is homework in English, okay? So it's something you have to do. Your homework is something you have to do. So devoir corresponds to the verb to have to. Et voilà, on y est. This is our lesson on the modal verb, finished. Do review the video if needed and use the highlighting tip. It will help you to visualize, trust me. Let's see how you will do in the quiz. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt dans la prochaine vidéo. Salut!